Doesn't matter what FPS game you play, there's something relevant for you in this video because the Splitgate team has found crazy success. Just yesterday, Ian Pro, who's the CEO of 1047 Games, those are the folks behind Splitgate, gave an interview with Inverse.com highlighting the 3 factors that led to the overnight success of the game. Really good article, I'll leave the link down below. We're gonna hit on those 3 things that they themselves think led to this game blowing up. Why it's important for you regardless of what FPS you play, because these factors really do matter for FPS players in 2021. And if more developers, I think, land on these, they'll see better experiences for people like you and me who want good FPS experiences. So let's dive in. So the first item is appealing by design. And I'll quote here from Ian Pro. Easy to pick up and play, but the depth of skill required to play on a higher level is baked into the game design. So it has a broad appeal to a variety of players. He goes on to say, easy to learn, hard to master. That's been a core principle for us from before the initial rollout in 2019 through to our relaunch. Now, what does this mean? Accessible, but also rewarding for players who put a lot of time and effort into improving. Now think about the games you've played in the last 5 years. How many of them have struck a good balance between easy to pick up and play, but also hard to master, right? There's not a lot. Either games are too hardcore and thus have a really niche, tough audience to break into, or they're overly accessible with not a very big skill ceiling. So ultimately, players who push long-term sometimes get punished by in-game mechanics that don't really expand that skill ceiling. Now, when you look at Splitgate, if you've played Halo or a Halo-like game in the last 10 years, immediately Splitgate is going to feel familiar. Sandbox is going to feel familiar. Where's that crazy skill ceiling? In the movement. The portal mechanic adds a unique twist, but you don't actually really have to use it when you're a new player all that much in order to have a good time and succeed. It's very easy to pick the game up. Once you start playing more and more and you get into ranked, it gets complicated, but it's rewarding. And that's what's keeping me playing this game so much. Look, you guys, I love Halo on this channel and I cannot wait for Halo Infinite, but Splitgate has been an absolute breath of fresh air because of that skill ceiling. It was easy to pick up, it's always fun on an afternoon, yet if you really want to push yourself, you can improve every single session in a meaningful and rewarding way. Number 2 is a loyal and vocal community, straight from the developer's mouth. Having a loyal and vocal PC player base, when we made the jump to console and being able to offer crossplay right off the bat, helped new players get in the game on the platform they wanted to, while being able to play with a knowledgeable and experienced core community. It goes on. We also learned a lot over the past 2 years from community feedback, and we're able to make a lot of improvements to the game based on that. 1047 Games, I think, is like a 30-person team. They're small, they're agile, and they're responding to player feedback. Now think about Raven Software. Think about all the Warzone complaints going on right now. They are not addressing complaints in a fast enough time frame. They're not agile enough for an FPS game in 2021. Think about any FPS you've played in the last 10 years. Has there ever been an era with bad settings or an exploit or a glitch or something that made the experience really frustrating to play? I can think of like half a dozen right now off the top of my head. If you are not agile enough to respond to your players' feedback in a meaningful way, you will lose your audience. Just look what's happening right now. A huge exodus from Warzone over into games like Splitgate or Apex Legends. And number 1, timing is everything. And I quote, we think our launch timeframe, or at least our initial open beta launch timeframe, struck the right note at the right time. It's easy to get lost in a sea of game launches. Ian goes on to close with, we have so many cool ideas and game features we want to put in the near and long term. Splitgate is a long-term project for us. We want to be able to make the necessary changes the game needs to grow with its player base, and not just in capacity. So yes, timing is everything. This is where I think they really hit the nail on the head. Splitgate really did have this perfect window to rebrand and redo this beta, and also bring crossplay out. Nothing's going on this summer other than Warzone is cratering from the cheating problem, and the lack of response is leaving the players looking for something new. Players like me love Halo. I'm getting really tired of Halo MCC, I'm ready for Infinite, I want that game to come out, and the tech preview, great! But that happened, and we don't know what is there to do as the Halo fan? What am I supposed to engage with until that game releases, right? And here you have this wonderful game where people are hopping on, it's getting updates, it feels like you're a part of a bigger community, and it's just all this perfect timing machine. Now, granted, later this year, you've got the, COD Vanguard, you got Halo Infinite, you got a Battlefield 2042, so it will be a big year, hopefully, like, these are good games, but Splitgate really found that nice window. And as an FPS player, I wish more of these AAAs would find these windows, these pockets, to be sensitive to players going like, look, I don't want to have to choose between 3 or 4 FPS games to really sink my time into. right now I can just play a couple, and that's great. So in summary, man, Splitgate's awesome. Please play it. Check it out, man. Give it a shot. This game has been so much fun. I appreciate the views on the channel. You guys have been crazy supportive of it. Check out the full link to the article down below. Have a great day, and I'll see you again next time.